My husband's ex-wife messaged me within 24 hours of our wedding. Hey everybody, welcome back. This story is from the Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. Hello, fellow petty potatoes. I'm really needing your help and some grounded perspective right now because my emotions are all over the place.
I'm serious about this stuff.
I got you. I'll be cool as a cuke. Cool as a cuke in your butt.
Ew, gross.
All names have been changed as friends and family quietly lurk here, and I'd rather not light any unnecessary fires. The background. I, 39 female, have been with my now husband, Hugh, 45 female, for just over 4 years. We got engaged in February and decided not to wait around. We planned our wedding for December and threw ourselves into it. The planning went smoothly. The day itself was beautiful, the sun shone, and the people we love were there. It was one of those rare days where everything feels right. Both my husband and I are not very active on social media. For us, it's just a quiet way to stay connected. My profile showed I was in a relationship with Hugh, but I never bothered to update it when we got engaged. I hardly ever post, rarely comment, and I certainly wasn't broadcasting wedding countdowns or newlywed bliss online. Hugh's ex-wife, let's call her Chardonnay.
This is a white.
Very interesting choice of name. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of tells me everything I need to know about her. Okay, so Chardonnay is 43. She was with him for around 12 years, 9 years dating, 1 year engaged, 2 years married. From everything Hugh, his friends, and his mother have told me, their relationship was unstable. They broke up on 4 separate occasions. His parents and best friend asked him more than once if marrying her was the right decision because they could see how unhappy he was. Hugh, always trying to do the right thing, believed marriage would somehow fix what was broken. Financially, Hugh carried almost everything. He paid most of the bills, the food, the holidays, bought the car. Chardonnay worked part-time as a teaching assistant, and her income was treated as her spending money. When friends asked her about her ambitions, she openly said she didn't need a job because Hugh paid for everything. Trying not to be judgmental. Sometimes that arrangement works for people. After 2 unhappy years of marriage, Hugh asked for a divorce. 2 weeks later, COVID hit. What should have been a clean break turned into a slow, painful, emotionally draining process. Chardonnay refused to move out until a court order forced the issue, and when that day came, she did not go quietly. Messy. Then came the message. Less than 24 hours after I married the man I love, while I was still floating somewhere between joy and disbelief, I received a private message from Chardonnay. She wrote that she thought I'd just married her ex-husband, that he had been trying to contact her on and off for years. Most recently 3 days ago. She said I'd probably heard awful things about her, that Hugh demonizes his exes and never takes responsibility, that she loved him deeply and was still trying to recover from the damage he caused, that she didn't want contact with him but felt she had to warn me because she'd been exactly where I am, that he would never give me the life he promised, that when he's good, he's perfect, but when he's bad, it's torture. Okay. Interesting.
2 sides to every story, right?
I would say, okay, I know I always say like,
oh, if he calls his ex crazy,
don't believe him, like there's something wrong. I would say that if he really did message her and has been messaging her, I would need to see proof. And if she's not willing to offer up that proof, I don't know if I would trust her. Like, it's one thing if Hugh was the only one kind of saying that she was like nutso. It's an entirely different thing that like all his friends and family were also saying the same thing. Mind you, they could have been under that impression. But I don't know if I would believe this. Just saying. And just like that, the glow of newlywed happiness cracked. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's awful. Ugh, she ruined it. And she wanted to ruin it. I trust my husband. I truly do. I'm confident there's nothing behind her claim that he's been trying to contact her. I also happen to be friendly with one of Hugh's other exes, let's call her Marie, who was a longtime family friend. Their breakup was amicable. While Hugh was with Chardonnay, she forbade him from speaking to Marie at all. Okay. After the divorce, Hugh reconnected with her. Marie is now happily married with 2 children and has told me plainly that I have nothing to worry about and that this feels like Chardonnay is stirring the pot. Hugh has never demonized his exes to me, but he did express the issues he had during the divorce, which others, his family and friends, confirmed as they heard her ranting when they called him to check in. Still, the timing hurt. The cruelty of it hurt. Receiving that message so soon after our wedding felt like somebody deliberately reaching into a moment of pure happiness and trying to ruin it. Honestly, babe, like, it can only ruin it if you let it. It is really interesting how others, when you get into a relationship, like, you want so badly to be in a relationship. Like, I feel like that's what a lot of people truly want. But unfortunately, there are a lot of people who don't want you to be happy. They don't want other people to be happy, especially, you know, if you're getting what they feel they deserve. Yeah, it's gonna test you. But I would say until you have proof of what she's saying, I'd just laugh at it. Like, just laugh at her. She's ridiculous.
The back of your head is ridiculous.
I haven't replied to her. I don't know if I should. Part of me wants to protect my peace. Another part of me feels unsettled simply knowing the message exists. This is not how I imagined the beginning of married life. What would you do? I would either, I don't know if I would talk to her. I would ask Hugh to show me the messages. But is that the best way of going about it? Like, you can doctor them. I would need to see proof before I believed anything she said. Yeah, I would definitely talk to your husband, tell him what happened, and I would need to see his messages with her. All right, comments say, be honest with your husband, show him the message, let him deal with it. Mute her in case you need to get a restraining order or something. You trust your husband, and you've also heard it from other sources. I'm always wary of guys who badmouth exes, but your husband hasn't done that to you. He's vented to his friends and family who knew the situation. He wasn't badmouthing her to you, which to me is a good sign. Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between like badmouthing and like a divorce is a really stressful thing. Like, I've said it before in videos, and I will say it again. It's one of the most difficult things that you can go through. The average person can go through. Obviously, there's like horrible things that can happen to people, but I'm saying like divorce, there's a 1 in 2 divorce rate, right? Half of all marriages will statistically fail. It's a horrible thing for the average person to have to go through. It's kind of difficult to go through like a year, multiple year long divorce case settlement without talking about it to somebody. So, important thing to note, I agree, this would be my first thought as well, but as someone who has experienced something very similar to OP, however, it was an engagement announcement, not a marriage announcement, I would not necessarily immediately run to the husband. I sat on the message I received for a little bit, then decided to reply very nonchalantly, even though I was feeling very much chalant about it, saying something to the effect of that I was very happy, and if what she was claiming were true, she could easily prove it. And let it be. And then I got proof, tons of proof. I ended my engagement over it. It's important to note that Chardonnay could be twisting what might possibly be recent contact between the two of them if there is any sort of proof to be shared with OP. There's very much a difference between her reaching out to him to meddle and him replying in ways to pacify her and not rock the boat versus him initiating inappropriate conversations with his ex-wife. My ex-fiance very slyly but ultimately villainized his ex-wife, so I had prejudgments about her. He did that just in case the day came that she reached out to me, I would immediately not believe her and run to him or come at her to defend him. And his family backed him because they wanted him to find a good woman to be with because he kept ruining past relationships. Okay. There's a part of me that is a little worried about this situation, but honestly, I don't think you can go wrong. There's also the thought that maybe she could like fake the text messages or something. I'm interested to see what you would do though. OP responds and says, a bit of an update. I told my husband about the message. He was in the room when I saw it and we read it together. He said he hasn't been actively trying to contact her and offered his phone for me to check. But I didn't need to, as in the run-up to the wedding, he was with me doing wedding prep and wouldn't have had time to contact her 3 days ago. Plus, he's pretty bad at lying. Both me and his mom know when he's telling porky pies. I haven't accepted the social media message from Chardonnay, and therefore I don't think, but not certain, she can see if I've read it or not. I don't think she can send any more messages until I do accept, and I'm currently not intending to. Okay, so we do have an update, like a really beefy one, 23 days later. Okay. I did what any emotionally stable, newly married woman would do. I ignored the message and I went on with my life. Christmas happened, New Year's happened, I returned to work, peace was restored. Chardonnay and her unsolicited opinions were firmly filed under Not My Circus. Because I never accepted her original message, she couldn't send another one. Nature was healing. I left it untouched, like a haunted object you absolutely do not open. My husband also did a full digital spring clean. Mutual friends were unfriended, access was cut off, and I smugly assumed she could no longer stalk us on social media. I was wrong.
No! God, please, no! No!
As we were approaching 1 month of being married, we decided to finally update our socials. Most of our wedding guests still hadn't posted their photos, and we knew they were itching to unleash them. Love, happiness, wedding pics. Within 1 hour, Chardonnay was back.
No! No!
On an entirely different platform. Because when one door closes, apparently she simply downloads another app. I haven't opened the message because she can see when I read it and I refuse to give her the satisfaction. It's just sitting there menacingly. A Schrodinger's DM. Now I'm stuck wondering, do I tell her to leave me alone and block her? Do I continue ignoring her like the emotional vampire she is? Do I ask for this so-called evidence she keeps hinting at, or is that exactly what she wants? I don't want to add fuel to the fire, but these random pop-up appearances are very clearly designed to mess with my marriage and my sanity. Man, please find a hobby that doesn't involve my husband. I showed the message to my husband. He's mortified, keeps apologizing, and said he'll sort it. Meanwhile, I'm over here wondering why his ex keeps reaching out to me. Because I truly feel like she wants to meddle. I think that if this was just her good Samaritan, like, you know, she was just trying to do you a solid and warn you, it's like, okay, I'm going to send one message and just like give her a heads up. Like if I'm putting myself in her shoes and she really was hurt, right? And there was a lot of like shady things going on and I wanted to warn you. Why would I be like following you to every single platform to like try and ruin your new marriage?
She's obsessed with you.
That to me says stalker, like meddler, stirring the pot. Just the very image of you guys being happy bothers her. Yeah, I don't know. I actually firmly believe that she is just trying to meddle. But that's just how I feel. I think you're fine. Okay, so obviously there's people that are like, block her, just like screenshot the message and block her. And then there's this person. I'm so nosy, I wouldn't be able to help myself. I would absolutely make her my second source of entertainment. Completely gaslight her with a fictitious version of reality. Tell her you won the lottery and are moving countries. Keep the lie going with numerous plot twists. Don't be like me. Oh, that is too funny, babe. Too funny. I think that everybody kind of has the same read as me. I don't think that anyone is buying it. I don't think anybody's like,
Okay, yo, there's something going on here.
everyone seems to be like, just don't answer. Don't answer or answer and have fun. So I think that's all we're going to say for that one. Moving on. Am I overreacting for feeling upset after the groom made a comment about my dress at their wedding? Noted. Okay. We'll show the dress in a second. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
I'm trying to figure out if I'm overreacting or if this was actually rude or something I should bring up at some point. I, 25 female, went to my really good friend's wedding. She didn't have any official bridesmaids, but I was her only unofficial bridesmaid. I wore the dress in the photos, and the only skin was my arms, and I guess my back, as the dress had an X cut out, which was covered by my hair. I don't like where this is going. The groom is religious from another country near the Middle East with more conservative cultural expectations around modesty and clothing. During the wedding, my friend told me John, fake husband's name, leaned over and said, "It looks like me left half of her dress at home." She said it completely seriously, and she didn't defend me or say he was kidding. I know he was not joking because I know how he is and his standards for my friend. Nor did she say anything about my dress like it's pretty or it's good or fine. Okay.
She doesn't sound like a friend to me.
Other guests that attended were wearing long dresses without sleeves, short tight dresses, long tight dresses, etc. It wasn't a super conservative reception at all. Very informal and fun, drinking, partying, etc. I felt really insecure and sad, and I'm just wondering why she would even say this to me. There have been other times where she has said that he told her I only got my job, a really good job, because someone in the interview thought I was attractive. You know what's really going on here is he finds OP attractive, I'm just saying. So it's not just the one thing, it's plenty. It feels like I can't do anything right. So am I overreacting? What do I do? Bring it up, brush it off. Is the dress not okay for a wedding? Okay, here's the dress. I can just tell by your silhouette. Like, I know that we can't like see what you look like per se. We can see what your body looks like. The groom is attracted to her.
And who would blame him?
So that comment, I would not say that this is a revealing dress at all. To me, a revealing dress is like, it's like a clubbing dress, you know? It's like, I'm wearing this specifically to be able to push up my tits and get free drinks. Maybe you're like, your boobs are showing and your knees are showing. No boobs, no knees. Furthermore, the back doesn't even seem to be that revealing at all. This is honestly like a really massive red flag. If that's what he said about this dress, like, doesn't matter what we wear, clearly. So I actually feel like you're reacting to the wrong thing. I don't think that there's anything wrong with what you wore. I think that there's definitely things wrong with your friend's husband. Yeah, I don't love that. Even so, like, it's also the fact that, like, your friend told you what this guy said, didn't defend you, and just said to you at, like, a nice event.
Oh, by the way, the groom says your dress was very revealing.
Like, what do you mean?
She's not your friend.
If he actually did say that, like, the only reasonable response to that as a friend would be to, well, I mean, he's the groom, so you can't exactly tell him to shut up. I mean, you could. I would not go around telling her that. I would just like, oh, okay, cool. Thanks for that little tidbit of information. I don't really understand why this friend told you what John said about your dress. Doesn't really make sense to me. People in the comments say someone was for sure jealous that you looked banging. Just feel proud and ignore these people. Some people are saying, I actually wouldn't be surprised if the husband actually said nothing and the friend only said something. But I mean, the husband also made some like weird comment about like her not getting the job because she deserved it, where she has said that he told her. Oh, interesting. So he has never said this to you personally. It's only been through your friend.
Intriguing.
I'm not sure why she felt the need to share that with you, but I'd shake that off because that's her husband, not yours, and you rocked that dress. Yeah, it's kind of difficult to tell, like, so she's the bride. Who on God's green earth has time to tell somebody that their dress is revealing at their wedding? Are you not, like, having the best day of your life? Like, why are you worried about, like, what other people are wearing? And furthermore, she's wrong. She's jelly. Her husband wants to giggity goo. Her husband sucks. I mean, it's really difficult to tell, like, if she's just lying about what her husband is saying. I don't know. I would feel, like, really weird about this friendship, to be honest. Because either the husband's talking about you and your friend doesn't seem to care, or it's your friend just using her husband as, like, a front to talk about you to your face. Like, hate to say it. This is weird. He is mad at himself for being attracted to you, so he takes it out as criticism of you. She's mad at him being attracted to you, and she does the same. Could be a bit of both. Both things can be true. I wouldn't say that you're overreacting at all. I would honestly say you're kind of underreacting. TBH. I don't know if I would want to be friends with someone who would like take time out of their wedding to like make me feel like You're essentially her like maid of honor, like only bridesmaid, and she's taking time out of her like the best day of her life to like relay you some comment her husband made about your dress. Could never be me. Am I the a-hole for blowing up at my sister's wedding day makeup artist and wanting to sue her? My decision. All right. I know you guys want me to do that more. There's reasons why I'm not doing it anymore, but I'll do it for this one. As the title said, my sister got married last week. She booked a makeup artist months in advance and paid a deposit. Fast forward to the wedding day, the makeup artist shows up wearing a mask, and she says she's extremely tired. She starts doing my sister's makeup, but then suddenly stops midway, saying she's over it. Too exhausted and can't continue. I'm just like over it. Like, you know, like I just don't really feel like doing this. I beg your finest pardon. We were honestly very understanding. We even offered to take her to the ER because we thought she was sick. In the end, My sister had to finish her own makeup on her wedding day, even though she was a makeup artist before, but she wanted to get pampered on her special day. Today, one of my sister's friends sent me a screenshot from a Facebook group. Turns out, the makeup artist wasn't sick at all. She had gotten lip fillers right before my sister's appointment and was exaggerating the pain and symptoms, so she got dismissed. Oh my God. You know, I thought that she might have been like hungover, but lip fillers. Okay, explains the mask. She was joking and laughing about it in the caption and comments, and even said she paid for the lip fillers with our easy money. Oh yeah, no.
Right to jail, right away.
That would enrage me. I called the makeup artist and confronted her. I'm not going to lie, I yelled. I felt like a fool and I told her she took advantage of our kindness, abandoned my sister on her wedding day, and still kept the money. I actually paid the full amount because I felt bad for her.
Why? Why would you do that?
Now we're planning to take her to court. Since then, random people, her friends, I guess, have been contacting me saying I'm an a-hole, that we dismissed her and we can't do anything legally. You dismissed her under the guise because you assumed that she was sick. Not that she got like lip fillers and her face was swollen. I've never heard of someone getting lip fillers and then unable to work the next day. Extra context, the makeup artist wasn't a total stranger. She and my sister had worked together a few times, so there was already some familiarity and trust there. And the people contacting me knew who my sister was. So am I the a-hole if we go through with the case? No, you have literal proof. Who cares if people are saying that you're an a-hole? You have proof of her lying. She's writing about it on social media, which is hella stupid, in my opinion. If I saw that, I would be so unbelievably angry because it's like, what do you, like, you're laughing about like scamming me and you're like publicly like rejoicing about it? Absolutely not. Okay, so important context. OP said, I actually paid her because she kept complaining and saying she was struggling and that money was tight and her kids might be taking from her. I truly believe she was a hardworking woman pushing through even when she's sick for the sake of her children. Seeing her like that literally broke my heart. Now I just feel like I'm an idiot. Ooh, yeah, no, this sounds very manipulative. I'm actually dealing with something very similar here. And like, it's actually crazy how much people play the victim in situations where they're fully taking advantage of you. That to me is like she 100% took advantage of you and was just playing the victim to make you feel bad. So no, I would not say that you're the a-hole at all. Get your money, boo-boo. Would I be the a-hole if I refused to shave my armpits for my friend's wedding? Okay, this is a new one, honestly. So I, 26 female, stopped shaving my armpits a few years ago and found that I greatly prefer not having bald armpits. I'm a sweaty person and having hair prevents my pits from getting swampy and sweating off every single deodorant and antiperspirant known to mankind. I also have sensitive skin and get horrible rashes and razor burns from shaving. My decision to not shave my armpits is primarily personal, but I am aware that it's going against the societal and gender norm and is therefore inherently political or subject to being politicized. Under no circumstances, though, am I refusing to shave solely to make a political statement. It's actually quite interesting how much society has ingrained in us that like hair on your under your arms is like gross.
Yeah, hairy armpits on women, disgusting.
I was watching a show recently and the main character, super hot, it girl, puts up her arms and she's got hairy armpits. And it was just this jarring like, oh, she's got hairy armpits. But like, it's fine that she had hairy armpits, but it's just interesting how my initial reaction was to be like shocked by that. It goes without saying that this is people's like immediate gut reaction. And like, why is that? Because people needed to sell razors in the 50s? Like,
oh, groovy, smashing, yay capitalism.
Point is there's nothing wrong with it, but it is quite political and polarizing for some reason. So the issue is my friends are getting married next summer and they've invited me to their wedding. It's also a destination wedding and many of the wedding party events will involve wearing a swimsuit or clothes that expose my armpit hair, as it will be summer in Mexico. I asked about the dress code for various events and both the bride and groom said they won't be strict about the dress codes as long as everyone is well groomed. I figured I knew what that meant considering I do work a professional job, but they took this conversation as an opportunity to warn me that some other wedding guests may be uncomfortable with the fact that I don't shave.
Why is that my problem?
That's really stupid. Like, you're not even in the wedding party. You're literally just a guest. Am I understanding that correctly? Like, even if you were in the wedding party, it's a bit weird So what if they're uncomfortable? And like, point is, like, what? Who cares?
Get over it.
Literally, that's the thing, is like, who cares? It's not like you're going around like shoving it in people's face. Look at it! I braided it! Let's put some beads on it. Style it. Maybe put some glitter on it. You know what I mean? I actually would go with glitter. Not shaved. Come on, man. You're literally just existing with your hairy armpits. Who cares? I reminded them that they invited me to this wedding with the full knowledge that I don't shave my armpits, and it's not a secret. They said that they assumed I shave for special events where I needed to look presentable. I mean, the only time anybody's gonna see your armpit hair is if your arms go up, and like, how many chances will there be for your arms to like, woo! You know? I just don't understand how it affects anyone else, you know? Like, it's such a polarizing, controversial thing, but it shouldn't be. I said I always look presentable for special occasions, and that shaving my armpits has nothing to do with that. If people take issue with it, that's their problem. Now they're accusing me of trying to take attention away from their special day by making a political statement. Oh, brother. I told them I'm not doing that at all, and I don't shave because it's a personal preference, but ultimately got a whatever you say as a response. Honestly, I wouldn't even go. This sounds like super judgmental. I don't think it's other people that like are getting uncomfortable with your armpits. I think it's them. I think they're uncomfortable with your armpits. They have not at this point said I can't go if I don't shave, so I'm still planning on going and not shaving. Would I be the a-hole for doing that? I mean, no, you wouldn't, but like, I also don't want to go somewhere where I'm not wanted. You know what I mean? Again, they know I don't shave and haven't for years. I wasn't even thinking about my armpit hair until they brought it up. I even said I could trim it a little, and they said it would still be very distracting. Distracting. Imagine being so basic that you're worried about someone stealing the shine on your wedding day because they have hairy armpits. That's kind of mean. But seriously, like, okay. I've also explained to them my skin sensitivity, but they seem dead set on believing I don't shave to make a political statement. They've said,
Well, you're a feminist, so there's no way it's not a political statement.
I didn't realize that being a feminist was a political statement. Like, don't most people want equality of the sexes? I don't want to hear anyone in the comments say,
That's not what it is in practice. It's women that think they're better than other men. It's women that want to be controlled.
That's not the textbook definition of feminism. The textbook definition of feminism is equality of the sexes. That's literally it. Misandry is thinking that women are better than men or should be, you know, we should be in a matriarchal society or whatever, which I'm just kidding. Things might be better in some ways. I'm just saying.
In a lot of ways.
But it's really not political to be a feminist. Like, I would say it's actually arguably more political to choose to not be a feminist. Anyways, they're making me feel like an a-hole, that's for sure. But am I really the a-hole? Your armpit hair does not affect them in any way. And like, I get that it's controversial, but like, it really shouldn't be. Isn't this whole argument like based on like some campaign in the 1950s or maybe even earlier, but I feel like it was the 50s. Some sort of razor company ran like a bunch of ads that essentially called body hair like disgusting. If you look at Sophia Loren, one of my favorites. Sophia Loren, who was like a Hollywood actress in the 1950s, had like armpit hair. And she was Italian. Like, in Italy, it was totally normal to have armpit hair. Isn't that like, this wasn't a planned statement or a big controversy at the time. It was just part of a different beauty standard of the 1950s and early 1960s, especially in Europe. And I remember when my mom said that when she came here from Italy, she had like hairy armpits and she would get bullied because she had hairy armpits, when in like Europe, it was totally normal to have hairy armpits. And I truly think that this whole obsession with like hairy armpits comes from just like an ad campaign that made people think that they're gross. I don't get it, because like the argument against it is,
Oh, it's unhygienic. It's gross.
Men don't shave their armpits. Why is it only unhygienic for women? Am I right or am I right?
You're right.
So going back to the story, it's weird of them to try and control your body and your personal choices. And I would feel weird about attending that wedding, honestly. It sounds like a lot of money to spend to attend an event where like the bride and groom don't seem to like respect your bodily autonomy. Just saying. This is so funny. This other person had the exact same read.
Great minds think alike.
If this couple's so boring that your body hair would be the center of attention at their wedding, that sounds like a them problem. That's why I said, I'm like, wow, you're that basic that like you're worried about someone's body hair outshining you. Wow. Especially at a destination wedding in Mexico, there's so much fun stuff to be doing on a trip like that. If you're fixated on someone else's body hair, that truly sounds like a personal issue. I'd also be asking the bride and groom if they expect every guy at the wedding to shave their armpits or legs, literally. Why the double standard, you know? Who cares? I prefer shaving my own armpits, you know? But like, I mean, sometimes it gets a little out of control. I'm just saying. And it is no one's business but my own. So here's an interesting point. I'm really put off by underarm hair on women. I simultaneously know that there's no logical reason for me to feel that way, and I should keep my stupid opinion to myself. If I don't like seeing it, I can do something radical like shift my eyes 3 feet to the left. I wouldn't ask the person to go shave, not the a-hole. See, this is the thing. Like, it's a personal preference, all right? But it is interesting how people have such an issue with it, you know? Why is that? Solid take, same idea as how I don't like it when guys get buzz cuts, but it's also like none of my business. Exactly. So would you be the a-hole if you refused to shave your armpits for your friend's wedding? No, you wouldn't be, but I would also rethink going to that wedding. It's a lot of money to spend on a destination wedding for someone that honestly doesn't really seem to like you that much. Am I the a-hole for telling my fiance I don't want her to wear her late husband's wedding ring during our ceremony? Ooh, that's awkward. Okay, yeah. Okay then. All rise. I, 30 male, am engaged to Emily, 30 female. We're getting married this fall. I love her deeply, and I've never been more sure about anything in my life. That said, there's one thing that's been eating at me, and I'm not sure if I'm being selfish or just honest. Emily was married once before to a guy named Tyler. They got married young, early 20s, and he passed away in a car accident about 5 years ago. Oh, awful. It was sudden and tragic, and from everything I've heard, they were truly in love. I met Emily 2 years after his death. At first, she was really open about it, and I respected that. I knew coming into this relationship that I wasn't her first great love, and I was okay with that. I still am, mostly. Over the years, I've supported her through moments of grief, anniversaries, random waves of sadness. She visits his grave on his birthday, and she keeps a box of his things in our closet. I've never touched it. She's shown me a few pictures of them together, and I've listened to her talk about what kind of person he was. I've tried really hard to respect that part of her life while also building our own. Which brings me to now. A few weeks ago, Emily told me she plans to wear Tyler's wedding ring on a chain around her neck on our wedding day. Okay. She explained it as a quiet tribute, not something she wants to announce or make a big deal about, just something personal. I feel like there's other ways to make a quiet tribute to Tyler. Like, I understand the passing was like super tragic and stuff like that, but I think at the end of the day, it's like it is in the past, and I don't think it's wrong of you to want the wedding day to be about your new relationship. I think Tyler could be mentioned maybe, but like, I could see why you're in your feels about this for sure. Okay, so this is not something she wants to announce, etc. She said she wouldn't be where she is now without having gone through that loss, and she feels like carrying that part of her story into this new chapter is meaningful. I didn't say much at the time because I didn't know how to respond, but the more I sat with it, the more it bothered me, so I finally told her how I felt. I said I want our wedding day to be a celebration of us, and it's hard for me to wrap my head around the idea of her wearing another man's wedding ring, even if he's gone. I told her it makes me feel like I'm sharing the most important day of my life with someone who's not there. I said it makes me feel like second place. She got very quiet, then told me she wasn't choosing him over me and that she's allowed to honor her past while still moving forward. Yeah, but like, it's not just about her and what she wants to honor though. Like, she also has to respect her new fiance and new husband as well. And if he's not comfortable with that, then like, she needs to respect that, unfortunately. She said, grief isn't a door you close. It just becomes part of who you are. I get that. I really do. But at the same time, I don't think I'm asking something outrageous by wanting this one day, our day, to be about the life we're building together, not the one she lost. Since then, there's been a weird tension between us. She hasn't brought it up again, but she hasn't said she's changed her mind either. I feel like the bad guy, like I'm trying to erase someone important to her, but I'm also struggling with the idea of standing at the altar and knowing she's literally carrying a symbol of her first marriage as she says vows to start the new one with me. Is there another way that you could pay tribute to the ex? Like maybe we could be mentioning him in a speech. Is it even like, do you want no mention of him at all? Like there's also the thought that like, why are you jealous of a man that isn't even alive, you know? Like, are you jealous or do you want it to be about you? Maybe a bit of both. I don't know. At the end of the day, you're not comfortable with it. And I think it's not just her wedding. I think that you also have to be comfortable with something like this. If you were fine with it, then great. But you're not fine with it. So yeah, I've told no one in my life about this, not my friends, not my family, because I know how it might sound. But internally, it's tearing me up. I don't want to hurt her, and I definitely don't want to start the marriage with resentment or guilt. But am I wrong for what I said? I haven't asked her not to wear it explicitly yet, but made it clear I'm not comfortable with it. Am I the a-hole? So I don't think you're the a-hole. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but like the fact that you're not comfortable with it is totally fair. And this is obviously really difficult. Like this is not an easy, none of us have ever been in this situation before. Like I went to a wedding like a couple of years ago where the bride had a brother that passed away who was also really good friends with Mike. So the brother who couldn't be at the wedding was mentioned like quite a lot. And like honestly, a lot of people were crying and like it was just so hard because everybody wished he could be there. But that's different, you know? That's like he would for sure be at that wedding if he was alive. This is like, it's a past relationship. Yeah, it's different. It's different than a family member, I think. It's a tough position to be in. I will give you that. Not the a-hole, this must be incredibly difficult for you. I understand her sentiment, but I also understand and feel for you. Throughout the post, I kept thinking about how you are going to be looking at your soon-to-be wife as you say your vows, and not only will you see her, you will also see that ring. You will. It's just tough. Like, what's another way that you could honor him? Could you save him a seat or something with his picture on it or like his name on it or something? I don't know. I would strongly suggest couples counseling and have that unbiased third party help you both with this issue. If she wears the ring, you will be hurt. If she doesn't wear the ring, she will be hurt. This could cause resentment from the start. A therapist can help you figure out what is best for both of you to have a happy marriage. Also, edit to add, it doesn't sound like she's moved on from her grief, so regardless of therapy, therapist might be good. People are saying postpone the wedding. Yeah, I would also say that maybe she's not ready. I don't know if it's a little late to postpone or not, but it does kind of sound like she's not ready. You know, I'm really curious to know, like people get remarried all the time. Like obviously this happens when you're like older, you know, when you get older, and you still have time left if your partner passes away. Like I've definitely heard of people being remarried. What do people do? Is there ever, you know, a point in the wedding where someone is honored? I don't know. I guess it kind of really depends on the couple. Not the a-hole. Ask her if there's something different you could do to honor Tyler that day. Maybe light a candle for him. Hey, that's a good idea, in the church or something. Something else so she literally isn't wearing 2 wedding rings while walking back up the aisle. You're not wrong for your feelings and she isn't either. You just need to find a different compromise. That is also not a quiet tribute. It's a piece of jewelry around her neck, which will be visible to guests and photos. Yes. And then someone said, light a candle at the church before and separate from your wedding. Wearing the former husband's wedding ring during the ceremony is not appropriate. Yes. Yes. I like the candle idea. Other people are like, yeah, candle sounds good. Candle sounds good. I don't think you're the a-hole. I don't think she's the a-hole either, you know? I think that she might not be ready to get married. I don't think either of you are wrong here. I just think that you need to find a compromise, okay? Okay. This story is from the Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. Am I the a-hole for stopping the music in the middle of the client's wedding reception? Or in the cold. I've never posted a story like this before, but I'm genuinely curious how others will see it. For some context, I'm a vocalist, DJ, and former dancer. I worked for years in 5-star hotels and lounges. My husband, Dee, is a multi-instrumentalist, producer, composer, and a Berklee graduate. At the time of this story, we were both working professionally as musicians. This happened about 9 years ago when we were spending time working in Miami. Dee was contacted by an agent about playing a wedding. The agent was adamant that the budget was very small and the hours were usually long, 6 hours, which is a lot for a live band since those gigs are typically 3 to 4 hours long. The pay was honestly terrible, but we really needed the money at the time, had no other gigs on that specific day, so we agreed on one very clear condition. Our musicians had to be treated like guests. That meant being fed and allowed to have a drink if they wanted. Okay, fair.
That's the bare minimum.
I mean, that's weird that you have to demand that. I thought that that would be like assumed, but anyway, some people don't pay for their staff. I think that it goes without saying that if you are planning on having a wedding, you should be paying for your staff to eat at the very least. Because the rate was so heavily discounted, we explicitly told them that the discount itself would be our wedding gift to the couple. And in return, our musicians needing to be fed and treated like guests so we could do our job properly and create a great atmosphere for their celebration. The agent explicitly agreed to this. After it was all agreed, the client sent us a list of 93 song requests. 93, goodness me. We cared about our reputation and wanted to do a great job, so I offered something extra. I wouldn't take breaks. Ooh. I would sing with the band during the live sets, and when the band took breaks, I'd DJ in between. That way, we could try to cover as many of those 93 requests as possible. Wow, really going above and beyond, I'm not gonna lie. But let me guess, give them an inch and they take a mile.
You know it, you know it.
The day of the wedding arrives, we show up prepared and ready to go. Immediately, I notice the venue is actually very high-end. Okay. As we're setting up, it becomes clear that nothing about this wedding reflects a low budget. Ooh.
Slimy bugger.
Yeah, they just don't think that you're worth the budget. Got it. Each floral arrangement on each dinner table easily costs several times more than what each musician was being paid for the entire night. At that point, I was upset with myself. I took responsibility for not having done enough due diligence. Still, I was there to do the job I agreed to do and to do it well. This is an indication that these people don't have like zero budget, right? I just know for me, I just decided to not get a band because I would rather spend the money on other things. But I think it's fair to say that like, if you don't feel like the cost of a band is something that you want to include in your budget, don't like skimp on it and like say,
Okay, well, I'll do it, but like only if they take like very little.
just call a spade and get like a DJ only, you know? We start playing. The first set goes great. Everyone is enjoying themselves. Then the first break comes. The band steps off stage to get food and drinks as agreed. Since I wasn't taking a break, I asked one of my bandmates to grab me a drink. A few minutes later, they came back and told me they were being refused food and drinks. Oh no. No. Just like, to me, it just shows the bride and groom or whoever's responsible for paying for the band doesn't respect the artists. Like, there's not a lot of things that I find completely classless and tacky, but what I do find very tacky is having a big party, spending thousands upon thousands of dollars for your wedding, and having a very large staff and not giving that staff at least dinner.
Somebody ought to show some basic human decency.
What do you mean, dude? That is so like, ugh. Especially 6 hours. So not only are they not paying the rate that they need to, the band is playing for longer than usual. My band, I think I got like a band for like an hour or something during aperitivo. And I think they played for like max 2 hours. 6 hours with no breaks in between for like the vocalist, that's crazy. That's nuts. It's very disrespectful to like at least not give them like a snack, you know? Like, at that point, Dee and I went into problem-solving mode. We looked for the agent and we were told he wasn't present and had sent his assistant instead. We spoke with her to try and sort out the misunderstanding, but she walked away to speak on the phone with the agent herself, then stalled before finally allowing us to speak to him directly. Throughout that time, we continued trying to resolve the situation calmly and professionally. We weren't looking for conflict, we just wanted the agreement to be honored. I mean, especially if you had some sort of contract and that was a condition to the contract that they agreed to, likely in writing, then yes, I would say you want the agreement to be honored. And if they don't honor it, they broke that agreement. That's how contracts work.
I'm learning.
While each of us continued to try to speak with someone to resolve the issue, I went to the bar myself to see if I could talk to someone directly. I was told by the bartender they don't serve vendors. I explained politely and professionally that our contract was an artist contract, not a vendor contract, and that being fed was part of the agreement. At this point, the bartender got in my face and openly mocked me. Oh, making exaggerated mocking faces and repeating my words back in a childish me voice instead of responding. Well, that's unnecessary. It took everything in me to stay professional. By then, we'd been trying to resolve the situation for about 20 minutes. Nothing was working. I turned and went back to the stage and pressed stop. Deafening silence permeated the atmosphere. This got their attention, and magically, the assistant finally put the agent on the phone with us. The agent told us over the phone that he didn't care what had been agreed to, he wasn't going to help us, and that was that. Sounds like they broke the contract, so you could leave. Shortly after, the mother of the bride came up to the stage and asked what was going on. I calmly explained that this wasn't what we had agreed to. She said, just keep playing and we'll fix it later. No. I mean, yes, okay, it's high stakes, you know, there's no music at the wedding and stuff like that. And like, I'm sure everybody was really uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, it's like, you can either stop the music or walk out completely. Because they broke the contract. You are literally under no obligations. Why are you being expected to show respect to people who do not respect you and won't even feed you? How are you not embarrassed? I was calm on the outside, but freaking out on the inside. I didn't want to ruin someone's wedding. I knew that if we kept playing, we'd lose any leverage we had. Inside, I was scared hopeless. I didn't want to cause trouble, but Dee and I were responsible for our band, and we couldn't ask them to work under conditions that weren't what we had agreed to. And frankly, I didn't want to work under conditions we hadn't agreed to. It honestly felt like I physically couldn't hold it in anymore. I dug deep and replied respectfully but firmly, with all due respect, please fix this first, and then I'll continue. The moment I put my foot down, the issue was magically solved.
Well, isn't that convenient?
Huh. Wow. Interesting how it only took like a couple of seconds to resolve the issue. My bandmates and I were immediately served food and drinks. The rest of the wedding went perfectly. Everyone had an amazing time. I'm sure that lots of people didn't even notice that this happened. The guests danced all night to the very last song. We played our faces off. We never worked with that agent again. So, am I the a-hole for stopping the music in the middle of the wedding reception until our musicians were treated the way we were promised? No. It really doesn't sound like it did that much damage at all. So OP responded, that gig was a hard lesson. It taught me to start putting everything in writing. I started adding very explicit clauses to my performance contracts after that and a few other experiences, and it's honestly saved me more than once. It's not good that you didn't put it in writing. That's my one criticism. But you learned, it was a long time ago. I mean, your career was just starting, whatever. But to anyone else who's trying to be like an artist or a vendor or whatever, do not trust these people. Like, I'm just saying, contracts help the world go round. Let's all make sure that everything we need to be doing is in writing and we're abiding by the contracts, okay? You still had a verbal contract, but at the end of the day, it's like you don't have any leverage unless something's in writing. And even then, you know?
Things can be disputed.
So, you're not the a-hole, but let's see what everybody else had to say. Not the a-hole, you used the only leverage you had. People like that tried to draw every ounce of blood out of you. Well played. Yeah, that was smart. Good for you for sticking up for your musician friends. You put them first in this regard. And like, you already did so much to accommodate this wedding. I would have been pissed too. And it literally took 2 seconds to resolve. Like, I bet the bride and groom didn't even know about it. I bet the mother of the bride just like went up to them and just said, yeah, like feed them. Problem solved.
That was easy.
You deal with it later. You deal with the bill later. Not the a-hole, those people. Yeah, like what was the option? Oh yeah, no, we're just like not gonna eat for 6 hours without a break. No problem, like why not? So fun. No. So no, you are not the a-hole, my dear. Am I the a-hole for not attending my sister's wedding because of her wedding tax? You made a decision. Okay, Reddit, I'm in a bit of a dilemma that could really use your judgment. Well, lucky for you, I am very judgmental. So here's the backstory. My younger sister Emily is getting married in a couple of months, and while I'm super happy for her, there's been some drama over the whole wedding planning process. Emily and her fiance decided to have a small wedding, which I totally understand. But they also decided to impose a wedding tax on family members attending. Bombastic side eye. Wedding tax. I beg your finest pardon. They have a list of wedding expenses, things like venue, decor, and catering, and they expect each family member to contribute extra to make it all happen. Oh, no.
It's a no for me, dog.
I'm sorry, but if you cannot afford to have a wedding, do not have a wedding. This is like, no. If you have a wedding and the people that go to your wedding decide to give you gifts to help offset the costs of the wedding, then great. But gifts are not a requirement. You should always bank on nobody giving you a gift. It's tacky to not get a gift, but I mean, you can't expect it. Wedding tax is something that I've literally never even heard of. Go elope. go to the courthouse, like just go to a bar after, celebrate with people. Like, what do you mean making other people pay for your wedding? Like, never in all my years. To top it off, her fiance's family was also chipping in, making the whole thing feel less like a celebration and more of a business deal. When my sister brought this up, I couldn't help but voice my concern. I told her it felt unfair to ask family to cover the costs on top of giving a gift. Oh, okay, so it's both? Oh, no. I suggested maybe doing a more budget-friendly wedding so everyone could enjoy it, but she brushed aside my suggestions. Well, then no one's going to her wedding. Even just to be asked that, I would not go. Like, that's nuts. We had a huge argument about it and it turned into a shouting match. I told her that weddings should be about love, not financial burdens. In the weeks that followed, she refused to speak to me and even blocked my number for a while. I felt really hurt, but then received an invitation to the wedding, complete with a note that said if I wasn't chipped in, I shouldn't bother coming.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. I've been debating whether to go or not. On the one hand, I want to support my sister. But on the other hand, I feel like it's really messed up to blatantly ask for cash from family. My parents think I should just suck it up, contribute, and attend for the sake of family, while my friends are telling me I'd be better off skipping it altogether. So am I the a-hole for considering not going to my sister's wedding because of the wedding tax? Am I being a jerk for standing my ground on what I believe should be a joyful occasion and not a financial obligation? Weddings are financial obligations, okay? This is the thing. Weddings definitely are financial obligations in more than one form, okay? Do you want to risk your relationship with your sister because she's being super weird about this wedding tax? She's being an a-hole, okay? Like, she is being an a-hole. Ain't no bones about it. This is weird. I've never heard of a wedding tax before. People are charging people to go to their weddings and like, obviously, anytime they talk about it on social media, people rip them apart because it's weird, okay? The expectations are getting too weird, too extravagant. Like, if you can't afford to have a wedding, I'm sorry, but don't have one. They are expensive. I get it. I don't even think it's possible to have a wedding for less than $20,000 and like have it at a venue. It's really hard out there, man. FYI, Toronto is extremely expensive to have weddings. There's a reason why I did a destination wedding. It's very expensive, but there's plenty of other options. I literally just went to a party.
If it isn't Little Miss Popular.
Friends of ours did the courthouse wedding, and then afterwards, everybody met up at a bar. And everybody, kind of paid for their own drinks, et cetera, et cetera. I think maybe they got like one drink ticket or something, but the rest of the time they just paid for their own drinks. It was a night out, whatever. There's other options. You don't have to like tax your friends and family. Edited to add, my sister did not make me a bridesmaid, but I'm okay with that. But she's having her wedding in an expensive hotel. Okay, no, like literally no.
I've never seen that stuff in my life.
So she's asking everyone for money, but she's not paying for anyone's hotel room, and I'm expected to pay around $250 to $1,000. Yeah, this is no bueno. I mean, you wouldn't be the a-hole if you didn't go. I don't know if it's worth risking your relationship. She's being Delulu. She's smoking the Delulu lettuce. That's a new one. But we do have an update. After much deliberation, I decided to stand my ground and not attend Emily's wedding. I sent her a heartfelt message explaining my reasons, reiterating I love her, but I can't support what feels like an exploitation of family when joining in a celebration. I thought that might lead to some sort of resolution or at least a civil conversation, but boy, was I wrong. The day of the wedding rolled around and out of nowhere, I received a text from my mom freaking out because Emily's wedding had fallen into chaos. Apparently, guests who paid the fee were fighting about seating arrangements, and some of the vendors canceled last minute, putting everything in disarray. My mom was in a tizzy, insisting it was all my fault for not supporting the family during this important event.
Huh?
How is that your fault? I took a step back. That wasn't guilt-tripping enough for my vibe. But then I received a call from our aunt who was furious. She blamed me for Emily's wedding being ruined, which I found ridiculous considering I wasn't even there. My aunt accused me of causing a divide within the family over money and tarnishing the spirit of the occasion. If only she'd seen the way Emily chose to treat her family like ATMs. As things continued to spiral, I heard through the grapevine that Emily's wedding day somehow went even more volatile. Guests who had fronted the cash got into arguments over the wedding tax and felt cheated when food didn't match the expensive price tag. This is the thing, like, if people are dishing out a lot of money, let's say they go to a destination wedding, like they have to travel at all, they have to like get a hotel, like take time off work, it better be good. You better treat them to a momentous occasion, because otherwise they're gonna get annoyed that they spent any money on you. Right after dinner, a huge fight broke out. One of Emily's friends was tossed out for making a scene about the money they had to contribute, and quickly it escalated into shouting, with both the bride and the groom caught in the crossfire. But it gets crazier. My sister's new mother-in-law decided to throw her own fit, demanding a refund because she felt cheated on the wedding package. Emily was left sobbing in the corner, clearly feeling overwhelmed, and the whole scene turned into a reality show level of drama. Her fiance was left apologizing while the bridal party tried to salvage what little grace remained. Okay, so you were literally the only person who was right here. You removed yourself from this situation. Eventually, I got another message from Emily conveying through my mom. It was a half-hearted apology along the lines of, I'm sorry it turned out this way, but you still owe me. Owe you? For what? You didn't go. Nothing about clarity on expenses or acknowledging how bizarre the whole situation was. Now I'm feeling a mixed bag of emotions. I mean, I do feel sympathy for my sister. No one wants their big day overshadowed by chaos. But at the same time, it feels a little satisfying to know my intuition about the wedding tax was spot on. Yeah, you were 100% right. I guess it shows I wasn't the crazy one, and the whole situation was flawed from the start. So here I am, uncertain about my future relationship with Emily. Do I reach out and try to mend things? Emotions are quite high, and like, she doesn't want to admit that you were right, obviously, and it would take a long time probably to admit that, but I'd let things cool off for a bit. Is it too late, or does this create a moment of clarity for her to reflect on what was really important? I mean, I hope that this created some clarity.
Hey, I doubt it.
Am I the a-hole for still holding fast to my beliefs about family and finances when it resulted in such an explosive fallout? Should I let her contact me if she wants, or dive right back in to help pick up the pieces? What's the right move here? I would definitely, I don't know, I'd definitely let her cool off for a bit. Oh, update. Her fiance is filing for a divorce.
Oh, there's a big surprise.
Update 2, they ended up not divorcing. However, I think she might be cheating on him. Should I tell him? I haven't talked to them in a long time. Oh, that's awkward. Okay. This is very messy. You've got a very messy situation on your hands. Honestly, I would stay far away from this ball of chaos. Otherwise, you'll be dragged into it. I love chaos, just not when it's my own. So are you the a-hole for not attending your sister's wedding because of her wedding tax? No. Subscribe!